Hello everyone and welcome to my toy review. This is my fourth and final Super 7 Club Grayskull Filmation figure. It is Masters of the Universe Hordak inside this slipcover. Ta-da! And I'm excited for this figure. I waited to do this one last because I do not have a Hordak in my collection. As a kid, when Hordak came out, I was no longer into He-Man and never had a Hordak. And I became an adult collector and collected the vintage figures as an adult. Never had a Hordak. I've been into the Master Universe Classics figure for about 7-8 years now and do not have a Hordak. Never got one because I missed the initial release, and then after that I couldn't decide which one I really wanted, whether the Vac Metal Hurricane Hordak or what was it? I can't think of the other one. But they had a few Hordaks, and just recently they did a Buzzsaw Hordak, and I saw that guy on sale a few times, but he didn't come with like all the Hordak standard accessories, so I didn't get that guy. But Super 7 took care of me, and I hope they continue to drop figures that they've made previously, because I still have a few holes in my collection, and I don't want to chase those prices like Shadow Weaver, a member of the Horde. I don't have Shadow Weaver because she's very, very expensive. So if we can get a Shadow Weaver soon, that'd be cool. But anyway, back to Hordak. He comes in this very nice window style packaging. He's packaged alongside Imp, the trunk version of Imp, because he could change into different things, different small objects, and then a cannon arm. And there's Hordak inside the packaging, looking very cartoon animated style. On the back of the packaging, there's not much on the side. The back of the packaging is an anime version of Hordak, and at the very bottom there is a bio for Hordak. I'm trying to get it just right so you can pause it and read that, and you can see like was it Horde Prime, or not Horde Prime, the Fright Zone or whatever in the background. I said Horde Prime. Anyway, get this guy open and take a look. Say I'm very excited. This is my first Hordak. I have a lot of the classic Horde people, Horde Army guys, Grizzlor and that sort of thing. But now they have a commander. I still want to get the classics version just to have that in my classic collection. Get this guy out. Set him down. See if I can straighten out his legs. His legs not straight. Straighten out. Straighten out. Every one of these figures I reviewed has some type of flaw so far. Hopefully this guy is maybe the least flawed. And in the order I reviewed them in, they have the flaws have decreased. I don't know. I'm trying to downplay Triclops' visor. Here's this cannon arm. It's a very hard plastic, and I have 2 different color coats of paint on this arm. I don't know if that's just a splotch, but you can see right here pretty bad paint job so far. Then it's bleeding over here. Wow. You know, and a lot of people are talking about the quality issues on Super 7's figures, and I think they could be better. They're not terrible, but at the same time, you don't want to keep giving them a pass. If I'm reviewing a toy, I'm gonna have to talk about it. And yeah, this looks, it looks clumpy, and then there's a different color gray paint splotch here, and then here I'm missing like a notch. I don't know if that's missing to fit against the body. I have to see. Anyway, here is Hordak. Bring him closer, take a look at his face. I have a nick right here on his face, just on his cheek. He has red teeth in his mouth, red eyes. And they released the anime colored version of the classics figure before, and no one really liked it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I've never owned it, but from what I could see, it was alright to me. But I guess the hardcore fans, more hardcore fans than I, think that it was bad and this one is better. So we're gonna take a look at it and put it to the test. I'm missing a little bit of paint here on the back of the hood. Back of his feet look pretty good. Paint apps look pretty good overall. So here is Hordak. Trying to get him stand. His feet like kick out a little weird. I don't know if it's because he has like the flat feet, but like this leg bowls in and goes back out. Like my Triclops was linked this way, and looks like Hordak is leaning slightly this way. You can see where they streamline his body, and because of his bulky arms or maybe the armor, he has a lot of space in here. But under his soft hood is his head. It should 360 because it's on a ball joint, but the hood is blocking it, and I really don't want to force it, even though I'm going to try to get his head off in a second in this video. Arms come up this far for his articulation. We can give him the 360, but he's rubbing this painted bones here, 360 in his arms, so I probably want to raise his arms out before I do any more 360 in, so I don't rub off the little paint. Already looks like the paint's sensitive to scraping and scuffing. His elbow band comes up about this far, because I guess because of his huge bicep, it's not that much. You come down to his wrist, and he has a 360 there, and he has the hinge wrist, which is very nice. They should have been using this a long time ago. He doesn't have an ab crunch because he's not wearing armor. This whole thing is all part of the body sculpt. I wonder which color they actually used. We'll turn to the side. Is the black painted or is the blue painted? I can't even tell. It all looks like some type of paint. I don't even know it, or it can't be gray because I can see where it's scraped off. But no ab crunch. He 360s. He has the giant bat on his chest coming down to his waist section. His leg comes up this far, which is pretty good. It's more than good. Goes back that far. You can get him in the splits. All these guys have excellent hip joints. I think it's called hip joints. And also, he has a joint at the knee, and my figure is very stiff, except this little foot is getting around pretty good on me. His knee bends there, and his ankle, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's because of the design. It's like a tilt rocker. Guess it's a rocker. So his feet, he has the most ankle articulation out of these four figures by Super 7 in this initial wave of their Filmation / Grayskull figures. That is Hordak's articulation. And I'm curious, I want to see if I can get a hold of his head and get it off. He has like this flat paint on his skull, which is how it should be. But it looks like, you know, you can get it dirty real quick. Like it'll just suck up any dirt and look like it already has right here. What if I get his head off without blow drying it? And it feels so rubbery. You can see it under there. Oh, I got it. Got it. Triclops made me be a little bit braver. And then it looks like in there that the head piece is blue plastic. You can see where the spray, I thought maybe they spray painted this blue, but if you look in that hole, it looks like the head is blue plastic, which is like awful. If he falls over a couple times, you can basically scratch off the head paint. They should have used a white plastic. Why do companies do that? Not just Super 7 or Mattel, companies in general. If the whole head is white, use white plastic. But I got him off with no problem. His little ball joint is kind of unique. It has tiny little dots on it, I guess, for gripping. I've never seen that on any other of the Mattel figures done quite that way. But I got his head off pretty easy, which I'm happy for, because Hordak, if I can get it back on just as easy. Oh, and no, I'm pushing hard as I can, and I can't pop it back on. Wow. Wow, I cannot pop his head back on, which is what I was going to bring up. He has the interchangeable arm, and since the head came off sort of kind of easy, I was hoping I could get his arm out kind of easy, and it feels like it's going to separate at the bicep here. And I guess I'm going to have to apply heat, which I shouldn't have to do. But I got a hair dryer. But you shouldn't have to apply heat. When Mattel was making these figures, everything popped just fine. Some people complain about the female figures, and if you weren't afraid, you could just pull it and it would come out. But this maybe try this one. And I'm giving. Oh, I got it. Whew, I got that one off. So I'm assuming we could just use this on either side. It's a right and a left, I hope. And this is the arm he changed most. He changed them both, but I think he changed this one the most in the cartoon. Which I didn't see a lot of episodes unless He-Man was on it. I was never big into the whole She-Ra thing. I had left Master of the Universe and that whole universe behind. And there's the peg hole. And here is the... Try to straighten it up for a straight push. Here is the new arm. It looks like I got it. Oh no, thought I had it. Oh, there it is. There is the new arm. And I was assuming that these little indentations were here to accommodate the arm, and I guess it is. That's where it rests against his armor. But to display this guy properly, I'm going to have to get his head back on. I'm going to try one more push, and then we'll get the dryer. Got it. I actually got it. Hopefully after taking it on and off a few times, it'll loosen up for me. Here's Hordak, and he can't quite line it up. You got to kind of turn his head to get him lined up. But because of the armor here, and even though they added a little notch, which was cool, it's still like kicked out where he can't just... I guess he couldn't do it either way with either arm, regardless, because of the body sculpt, but you gotta kind of turn him to the side. She-Ra! Okay, my Hordak's not good, but I tried it. And so far, so good for that little thing, that little gimmick. He looks great. I'm very happy to have my first ever Hordak. And again, there's the paint bugging the hell out of me. Like, maybe is this paint got on here? No, but it's all flat. But it's two different grays on there. Okay, there is Hordak. Oh, I'm totally missed his upper thigh swivel, which is in there. And which is cool. So you can change his stance, get him a little bit wider. Let's get this wide stance guy back there. And here is this little partner, Imp. The little annoying little creature, little evil comic relief, which was a nice touch on the cartoon. And his head, 360s. It looks like he has arm cuts, but it doesn't feel like it moves, and I would hate to break it. His little legs don't move, and his little tail doesn't move. And I'm pretty sure his little wings don't move. I mean, they're a softer plastic. Not that soft, though. A softer plastic. And here's a little guy. His paint is pretty good. His Horde logo is pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty cool. And here is the trunk that he turns into. This little guy, he can poof himself into a lot of different small objects, mostly balls and things like that. And the other Horde members didn't like him and would try to like take shots at him, and he would turn into something else and bounce away. And here's one of the things he actually did is the little trunk. And you can see his face on there. The paint's pretty cool on there. Face on one side, and it's just a block. I don't think it's solid, but it feels very solid. And this is pretty cool because at one point this was like a con exclusive thing. I think a San Diego Comic-Con thing. And Super 7 is not shy about taking the former Mattel exclusives and recycling them into the line. And normally I would hate that, but I didn't have this one. I had the when they did the Ultimates He-Man, the vintage style head, I had that one. And it kind of sucked that they reintroduced that immediately. But there are some figures that I hope they continue to reintroduce that I don't have. Like I mentioned, Shadow Weaver and a few more. And I'm going to try to get this guy up here to hang out with Hordak. Oh, doesn't get any easier than that. Hordak's little best friend that showed Hordak had a soft spot deep down. And he wouldn't let any of the members of the Horde mess with his little imp. I think this is the best figure of the line. Clearly the best accessory so far. Let me see if I can get his head up. I didn't bother to see if his head goes up and down. Get his hood back, see how far he can look up. And like some of the other figures, he can look down a little bit, but none of the guys that I've gotten for Super 7 in this particular line can look up pretty much at all. No one can look up. Even if you move his hood, he can't look up, which is like a bummer. And I know these are what people might consider minor nitpicks, but you never know what type of display or scene you might be trying to create. And it would be nice to have these guys that have a full range of motion in their head. And other than he doesn't have any Horde emblems on his arms and on his legs. I could have swore he had Horde emblems on his legs in the cartoon, but probably not. They probably know better than me. Oh, his loincloth. His loincloth is very, very soft. Very, very cool. And again, this is the best figure to come from these guys, even with the paint. Every figure has some issue. I've gotten Mattel figures, and a lot of them have been perfect. So it's not like people can say, well, there's always an issue no matter what you get, but that's not true. But so far, they haven't nailed it. Super 7, I guess you would say they're doing a good job, but the Ultimates were way better. It makes you wonder if it was like leftover designs and plans from Mattel. The Ultimates, some people said they used the same factory, and all these guys are new factories and new tools. And I know they talk about how like the peg holes are smaller, which they are. You can clearly see they look a lot better, and it makes the figure look a lot better as well. Along with this guy, I want to get this arm off. Oh, and I got it. Just took a little effort. And there is the paint job inside there. So I guess it's all black plastic, and the gray is the paint. The gray and the blue. And then there it's like, ugh. See if I can get the cannon over here. And the cannon went in this side a lot better, even though I think it's supposed to be featured over here. And and I got some paint on my hand from handling this figure. I don't know if it came off the cannon or from his side. I was holding it at the side. Getting some paint chips. So yeah, Super 7 still has some work to do. And I know a lot of people might not like it. They're happy to have these figures. Oh, look, I have a lot of paint down here coming off of this figure. And some people might not like me saying it, because a lot of people have been waiting for these toys and happy to have them. I'm happy to have them too. But, and especially Hordak, because like I said, I never had a Hordak. But Super 7 has some work to do. Not saying Mattel was perfect at all, but Super 7 definitely has some work to do. And I'm going to take Hordak and put him to the side and bring out one of his Horde Troopers. Not just for comparison, this is for a little bit of play. And I guess I should have did it while I had the head off, but the head off this guy and put the head over here. It would have been nice if they came with a replacement piece of armor to remove this and have a plain armor like he had in the cartoon when he stole a door. That's if, wow. I'm seeing a problem already. You see the size of this peg and then the small size of this peg. I don't even think this is going to go on here. At least not without heat. See if I can. I can't wedge it on there. But this is something I want to see, so I'm going to get a dryer and I'm going to get this thing on here. Yes, Operation Blow Dryer was a success. And I have his head on there. It's on there pretty comfortable, even though it's like making the neck rock a little bit. But now Hordak is definitely my favorite Filmation Grayskull figure from Super 7. I really wanted to do this. I wish we could have got some interchangeable armor so he didn't have the Horde symbol on there. I don't think he had it on the cartoon when he stole baby Adora from the Randors. But definitely liking this. And as I'm doing this, I have made this little flat finish white dirty on his head. That's why they should have used white plastic. Alright, I want to do one more comparison before I move on. I had to get a close-up, and you can see how this guy is leaning this way. Triclops was the same way, and it's almost as if his left leg is shorter. I'm going to try to line it up to make them even. You can see I have to raise this leg off the ground for the body to be straight up. It's like this leg is like a hair too short. I don't know where the joint pushes in at. If you can see it, Triclops was the same way. I didn't get all in depth like this with Triclops, but this is like the same problem. And it's not a deal breaker, but I just want to let you know that it's there. Okay, lastly, before I get out of here, I want to bring in Skeletor, his pupil. And I thought that was a cool little backstory. Most of the time when they try to add story to a pre-existing line, it really doesn't fit in and you kind of don't buy into it. But this is one of the cooler stories where Hordak was actually Skeletor's mentor. And in the bios, he actually saved Skeletor's life when the acid was eating away his face, fused him with, I believe it was Demo Man. And this is where we get the current Skeletor from Kaldor. I thought that was very clever, very cool. Now I have a Hordak. He's a pretty good figure. He's the best figure, in my opinion, of the four they released: Tila, Man-at-Arms, and Triclops. Happy to have him in my collection. This has been George, 80s Transformer fan. Thank you for watching another toy review, and I'll see you soon.